Welcome to an early glimpse of my Deflex map. This is Alpha version 4. Alpha 4 has a completely different teleporter room, and they're not organized in any fashion and won't be for quite a while. These are just placeholders. And unfortunately, because of a fatal map glitch the other day that we ran into, we had to delete the entire rocket arena that we showed in Alpha version 3. The entire rocket arena is gone. But we did start from scratch with a new one, but it's more of a rocket jumping trainer instead of like an actual run course. And that's because of the bug. And the bug was probably due to intersecting brushes. So all of the walls were intersecting in a lot of different planes. Teleporter brushes were intersecting walls, and just kind of chalk that up to Mr. Worm's inexperience with map developing. He wanted to, help out, and so we said, okay, well, here, have at it and go. But he's never actually done any kind of mapping, and I guess we kind of took it for granted that he would know how to lay out brushes and things, and it just ended up being, just a ton of different intersections, which crashed the map. And we couldn't get back into the map in online mode because of that the next day. So we had to figure out what caused it and what crashed, and it was just a bunch of bad intersections. So we've all kind of learned from that experience and moved on, and we're rebuilding some places that we had to remove, including the teleporter jump area. That's been removed. The entire tricking area has been removed, so we're just focusing on one area, all three of us, instead of three separate areas. And that way we can all kind of double check each other's work to make sure that everything is going to basically not crash. These are the two rocket jump areas, so we're probably going to have a full wall of rocket jump areas and a full wall of like strafe pads. So one will go to the beginner pads and the intermediate pads and the advanced pads. So there's going to be a lot of portals in here. Probably, about 20 different portals. So right now this just goes to the beginner level rocket jump course, so I'll give you a glimpse of that. And keep in mind that it's laggy for me, so I'm not exactly going to be able to do this because I'm recording and playing at the same time. These aren't rocket jump up walls, these are jumping from platform to platform. Forgot. It's really laggy for me. So this is just a trainer to get you used to jumping distances instead of jumping up walls. And we felt that this was a more realistic use of a rocket jump, so you would actually use this in games, and many people use this in games. People do use rocket jumps to scale walls in games, but not as often. So this is more of a fundamental skill that everyone uses in the game. So we thought this would be a more appropriate trainer. So one way that you can kind of cheat this is by rocket jumping on the walls. And I'm going to need to do that because I'm lagging so bad that I can't finish that. And this one I'm not going to be able to do with the amount of lag that I have. But there's a small platform right there, and that's where you actually have to get to, is this small platform there. And then from there you get your final health, and you can go up into rocket jump up into the platform. And the reason that we put the platform up there is so that advanced users that just want to really just fly through this will be able to rocket jump, all the way up to that platform and skip that lower platform. And it spits you right back out in the main room. And then you would go to your next level. And this is actually the 2x rocket jump. And this, I would say, is probably a beginner level 2x rocket jump. I mean, it looks deep down there, but it's actually not that hard. Oops. Again, lag. Because I'm recording and I don't have a very good GPU. So that's the whole course. And if you're better at rocket jumps, you might be able to, just scale up this entire wall. You're really not going to need to use this in a game, a 2x rocket jump. This is mostly for demonstration and physics engine demonstration purposes to, just for movement and to get accustomed to the physics of the game. So that if you hit a rocket underneath of you and you land on that rocket and shoot another rocket at the same time, you are going to get a huge boost. So that's basically how you rocket jump wall climb, although technically, I suck at it, and you're really not supposed to do that. You're supposed to just be able to hit the one rocket and then jump straight up to the platform without rocket jumping up the wall, but I'm not good enough to do that, and I've got lag, so I'm just doing what I need to do to pass this little section. So that's the beginner rocket jump course. Yay! We were able to keep the entire stair jumping, double jumping run course, through the fatal map bug. So we didn't have to delete any of that, thankfully, because as you can see, doing individual stair brushes is a lot of work. And there's a lot of stairs involved with this one, so thankfully we were able to keep that one. Yep, that's the same one. And then we have the circle jump trainer and the strafe pad trainer. And someone recently figured out, if you're doing mapping here and these lights do not show up as different colors and they're all just white lights, it's because you have R_bloom disabled, or for whatever reason you have HDR blooms disabled for your graphics card. So you need HDR blooms in order to see this neat neon effect. So we haven't done anything to the strafe and circle jumps rooms. Yesterday was basically just fixing all of the issues. It took us a good 3 hours to try and figure out what was causing that map to crash. So we didn't really get a lot done last night, other than the 2 new rocket jumping rooms to replace the one we had to delete. And that one and that one are just placeholders for future rooms. So I think that one's going to be teleport jump, and that one's probably going to be stake jumping. As you can see, we've also resized these rooms to reduce our overall footprint. We became a lot more conscious about map size. I think map size does play an important role in the performance of the map, so we have to keep these, all the rooms as small as possible and be the most efficient as possible with room sizes. Do not build it bigger than you need it to be. And this is going to be about as big as we will actually need this room to be. When all is said and done, this room is just going to be chock full of portals. And they'll be designed nice, and we'll have nice, entry ramps and gateways and things to the different sections. So we'll just do a quick fly around to show you the difference now in how big the map is. As you can see, everything's a little bit more neater and modularized. So we're modularizing all of these rooms. These are the rocket jump rooms. So you have to, rocket jump down and back up. And this is the smaller rocket jump room. And then there will be an intermediate room probably next to that, which will be half the height of here. This is the strafe jumping room here. This is the strafe jumping room, and this is the circle jump room. So those two are kind of connected together. This is the stair jumping room. Actually, all of this is stair jumping. And then over here is the portal room. And I don't know what this is. Oh, this is the small run course. So we were able to keep the small run course. Actually, I don't think we have a portal to that. Oh, there was a lot of bad intersecting lines in here that we still have to clean up. But yeah, that room was bad. We're getting a lot better about having our brushes intersect. There's no intersection lines now. which is like coal planing or something like that. So we're getting better at map design, getting better at being more efficient with our space usage, trying not to go outside the borders of our established space. The tricking room that we had was probably about as big as a circle jump room, or the strafe jumping room, and it was offset over here somewhere, and it was just massive. It was probably about 3 times longer than this and twice as wide. It was just a massive room. So, but that did not actually contribute to the map crashing. That was just a performance degradation issue from being so freaking huge and unnecessary. And I don't think we're going to have a freestyle room now because of it. It's too big, and we have too many other things training related to put in here. There are going to be plenty of freestyle maps, and we do not need to rehash a freestyle map within a trainer. We will have a little freestyle, tiny little freestyle room, but it's not going to be this huge trick jumping, kind of thing. This is purely for training purposes, to get you used to physics within Reflex. A big part of joining any new game is trying to figure out the movement and your limitations of movement and your freedoms of movement. This is going to be a big thing to getting new players immediately familiarized with the physics of Reflex. And once they can figure all of the ins and outs of the physics in the game, then they'll be more effective when it comes time to actually play deathmatch games, capture the flag games, run challenges, things like that. I would like everyone to keep in mind that we're still pre-alpha stage with Reflex. The game doesn't even have textures right now. It is so early stage development that having training maps out in an alpha is almost pointless. So we're going to take our time with this, and we just ask that you be patient and realize that eventually, someday, prior to Reflex's actual release date, these maps will be completely finished and 100% functional. So, just an update.